Okay, so the next form of equations, the linear equation we'll talk about, is called standard form. Now, I'm going to be honest, this one is the most useless, okay? And in fact, the only time I personally find it useful is when I'm doing a system of equations, which you'll get into in Math 140, okay? So standard form of a linear equation looks like this. That's supposed to be a y, okay, where a, b, and c are integers. Okay, so 3x plus 2y equals 6. Okay, that would be standard form. Everything's whole number things, integers, all the variables on one side, the constants on the other. Okay. If you want to write an equation in standard form, okay, the easiest thing to do is start in either point slope or slope intercept form and then do this. Okay, so let's just write the equation of the line passing through 1, 5 and 2, 7 in standard form. Okay, so I would start off with point slope form. Say, okay, well, the slope is 7 minus 5 over 2 minus 1, so that would be 2. Okay? And then I would write the equation line and say, okay, well, that's y minus 5, 2 times x minus 1. So I'm starting in point slope. Okay? And now to write it in standard form, I just want to get the variables on one side and the constant on the other. So I'm going to start off by distributing here. Get y minus 5 equals 2x minus 2. And then I'm going to add 5 to both sides. I'll just do this in 2 small steps. And then I'm going to turn around and subtract 3 from both sides. So, subtract 3. Subtract 2x. And with the variables on one side. Now I can't combine the y's and the 2x, so that's just negative 2x plus a y equals 3, and then that is standard form. Okay. Now, so I'm just going to focus this on little lecture on just writing things in standard form. If you need to graph it and stuff like that, do all the other, make a table, or if you have the equations in point slope form, you can graph it that way, things along those lines. Okay. Now, what if we have same question, write the equation of the line passing through the point 1/3, 1/4, and negative 1/5, 1/6. Okay, just to throw fractions in there. Okay, first thing is to find the slope. Okay, so slope, we'll do 1/6 minus 1/4. 1/5 minus 1/3. So I'm going to do my scratch work off to the side over here. So 1/6 minus 1. Common denominator would be 12. So that's 2/12. 3/12. That's a negative 1/12. So that's my numerator for my slope. Okay. And I've got some noisy dogs in the background, so my apologies. And then my denominator, 1/5 minus 1/3. So that'd be, common denominator is 15. So getting my equivalent fractions. So that's negative 8/15. Okay, so I can reduce these a little bit because that's divisible by 3, and so is that. Negative and negative give me the positive, so that's going to be 5 over 32. So there's my slope. Okay. Now I'm going to write the equation in point slope form. Okay. And that's how I'm going to start. So we're going to have point slope form. I'm going to use the first equation, so y minus 1/4, 5/32, x minus 1/3. Okay. The easiest way to write this again, I'm going to go ahead and distribute. I always do that first. Okay. So when I multiply 5/32 times that, remember we multiply numerators, we multiply denominators. Okay. At this point, we want integers, right? We don't want fractions. In standard form, everything is supposed to be integers. So I'm going to multiply by common denominator. Okay, and in this case, it's going to be 96. Okay, because all the denominators divided. So I'm going to multiply everything by 96. Okay, so let's see. 4. So this is going to be 24. Now 96 times this is going to be 15. And 96 times that's going to be 5. So I'm multiplying everything in here by 96. And that should get rid of all of the fractions. Okay, and I'm going to subtract 15x. And then I'm going to add 24. So in standard form, this would be my equation. Okay. Now I picked this one because it was a little bit harder because you have to deal with the fractions and stuff. But I kind of wanted to make one up going through showing you how to deal with the fractions. Right? So writing things in standard form, my advice to you is start in some other form, whether it's slope-intercept, and let me do one of those, or whether it's point-slope. But if it starts in slope-intercept form, okay, the first thing that I would do is multiply by the common denominator. Okay? Common denominator here is 3. So I'm going to multiply everything by 3. So that's going to be 3y equals x minus 6. And then I'm just going to get the x on the other side. And there it is in standard form. So if I need standard form, I always start in one of the other two and then go to it. Okay? But there really, to me, isn't much advantage in standard form. The author kind of likes it because finding x and y intercepts, but we've already kind of talked about that with the graph a little bit in the previous video, and so I don't think this is really all that advantageous. Okay.